Well, hello and welcome back to beautiful Scotland. It is such a glorious day today, and today is my first official trip out since recovering from COVID. And of course, there's only one place I'm going to come after being stuck indoors for 10 days, and that of course is the coastline. I've come down to a local beach. It's the middle of the afternoon, not the best time of day to do outdoor photography, but I've come here today to try a new concept. A concept that I'm hoping will help me connect more deeply with nature and open my eyes up to new photographic opportunities in the process. And that is known as earthing. So what is earthing, I hear you say? Well, earthing is the process of taking off your socks and shoes and walking barefoot in nature. It's been proven to have several health benefits, but most importantly, connect you so much more deeply with Mother Nature herself. I've been doing earthing now for about 6 to 8 weeks, just going down to my local beach and standing barefoot on the sand for 10 to 20 minutes and just fully immersing myself in it. And I have to say, I felt this massive shift in my connection with nature through doing this. That feeling of just feeling the earth, and most specifically the sand on my feet as I walk around. It's a really mindful experience, and I wanted today to come out in the least optimum time of day, right in the middle of the afternoon, to do some photography and see whether the process of earthing is going to help me connect more deeply with the landscape and allow me to see new photographic opportunities where I've never been able to see them before. And I'm enhancing that experience today as well by coming out with the most minimal gear possible. I've just got one camera, one lens. I've reverted back to my old vlogging camera, so I've not got loads of gear with me and loads of heavy stuff. I'm not doing the whole cinematic photography and videography today. And I've also come down to a beach which hasn't got anything iconic on it to shoot. There's pretty much no rock pools. There's a harbour, but it's not the most picturesque. It's just this about mile or two of beach with some sand dunes, which of course there's a lot of opportunity here, but without the optimum light of golden hours, it's a very tricky place to get decent photographs during the day. So that's why I've come here. It's a challenge, but will taking off my socks and shoes and planting my bare feet on the sand help me connect with the scene in front of me more. I've got a feeling that it's going to, and I'm really excited to see where this afternoon's going to take me. Oh, let's go. Instantly what I'm noticing is that walking barefoot on the ground is forcing me to become more consciously aware of what is below my feet. And this is something I've spoken about quite a lot actually over the past year. It's this idea that we all see the world from eye level. We all walk around and we all take your sort of stereotypical photographs. We're looking for those very kind of obvious landscape shots, I guess, is what most people look for when they're out and about in nature. But for about a year now I've been saying to people, look down on the ground, because there's so much on the ground that we miss all the time. And of course on a beach the most obvious thing there would be the patterns in the sand. But what I'm noticing today as I'm walking around is that I'm noticing these beautiful bands of different bits of sand, different bits of broken up shells and stones, and these different textures and colours within it. And obviously you've got to be more conscious of where you're walking because you've not got that protection of your shoes. But you instantly start seeing new opportunities around you, which I just think is fascinating actually. I've not seen anything yet that's really captivating me enough to photograph it, but I'm noticing new things in the sand that I've never really noticed before, and that is a really exciting prospect, because when you start noticing new things you start opening up new photographic opportunities. The other thing that I'm noticing is becoming really conscious in my mind is the changes in temperature as you're walking around the beach. So while the majority of myself is remaining the same temperature consistently as I walk around, as I move between different parts of the beach, the temperature of the sand is changing quite dramatically. So a minute ago I just came from up there where all the dry sand is, and it was really warm. You know, the sun had been hitting it and it's warmed up, and it was a really nice comforting feeling as I was walking around the sand. And now I've come down to really near the sea's edge, and I'm in this area now that's still wet as the tide is going out, and it is really cold. I'm feeling my feet and the nerves on my feet screaming now with the pain of the cold, but it's making me feel more alive and more connected with this. And as I've come further down towards the sea, I've started to see some really nice little pools of water intertwined with these lovely shapes in the sands, and this I think is going to be one of my first images of today. It's something that's really catching my eye. The sun keeps coming and going between the clouds, it's hitting these beautiful shapes, and because I'm standing here physically with my bare feet in this sand and in these pools of water, I feel a full body connection to it, and it's allowing me to uncover these new opportunities where I may never have seen them before. So when I find myself walking in the shallows of the sea, and my goodness, it's cold. Now you all know that I love wild swimming, and it's not uncommon for me to strip off and go swimming in the sea. But usually I've got my feet covered with some neoprene boots. So walking here at the end of March in bare feet, it is so cold. But as I'm walking through here, it's helping me connect with the sea further. And the sun has now just come out, as you'll see. There's this beautiful light actually, despite it being mid-afternoon, and it is shimmering on the sea. And that pain of those pins and needly feelings on my feet, as well as watching the shimmering sun on the sea, it, you know, plays together. They kind of go hand in hand. And again, not only am I visually seeing this shimmering on the sea of fairies dancing, as I've referred to them in the past, I'm also feeling it in my body, because I've got this connection with the sands and the sea that the light's shimmering on. So of course photography is all about capturing the light and watching the light and interacting with the light. But we also have to remember that as humans we've got all these different senses, and being able to connect with that light in another way through touch and feeling, it just brings the experience to life. the sea is you've got these lovely little ripples coming in, you know, these tiny little waves. But because you're walking barefoot, you are more aware of them because you're watching them and anticipating them as they come towards hitting your legs and potentially splashing on you. So you become more aware of these ripples, aware of these waves, aware of the shapes that are coming with the sea. And again, it's opening up more photographic opportunities. I'm actually enjoying this experience so much that I'm not feeling all the need really to take out my camera to connect with this moment. But it's allowing me to see the world in a new way, which is opening up new ideas in my mind, which they may help me today with my photography, but if not, they will definitely help me in the future, because I'm becoming more aware of the different elements of nature, the interaction of light and water, and the shapes and textures within it. As I've already said, the most obvious thing that you become more aware of when you're walking bare feet in nature is what's going on at your feet. But one thing that I'm becoming more aware of as well is what's going on in the sky, because I find myself walking along the beach watching how the light is interacting with the wet sand and with the sea and with the incoming waves. But that kind of causes me to look up and look at the light, look what it's doing, look at the shards of light that's coming and streaming down through the clouds. We've got beautiful shards of light actually today in both directions, but also looking at how the clouds are in the sky and how the sun pops out between the clouds and where the breaks are going to be, and when the sun's likely to come back out again and hit the landscape. And this is often where some of the best photographers find their craft, I think, is from those hours of sitting outdoors and just watching the light shine through the landscape, predicting when the clouds are going to break so that they can then be ready for that shot when that light comes streaming through, particularly in changeable weather days. But really, it's days like today when you just go out and immerse yourself in it and watch it and take that time to enjoy it, that you learn these skills. And it takes, I think, a long time, years often, to feel completely comfortable with predicting these things and with opening your mind up to these different opportunities. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes. A bit like anything in life, the more you do something, the more aware of it you become. So just by coming out today and just immersing myself in this and just feeling the nature between my toes and stepping back and watching the light interact with everything, it's opening my eyes up to so much. And the images I've taken so far today are quite surreal. They're very different, as I keep saying in my videos recently, they're very different to my norm, but they are exciting, they're abstract, they're showcasing elements of nature that the majority of people just walk by. But I'm connecting so deeply today with this beautiful shimmering light on the wet sands, and I genuinely think that taking my socks and shoes off and walking in the sea and enjoying these moments is what's allowing me to see these moments and see these photographs, and without earthing I wouldn't be taking them. It's quite a powerful experience. Oh wow, this is, just look at this. Wow, so beautiful, so beautiful. has been amazing. Do you know, I've only been here for about an hour, but walking along that sand and being in the sea and just feeling that cold sea on my bare skin and the sand beneath my toes and the beautiful sun hitting my skin as well. It's just, see, when you can start engaging all your senses and combining that with creativity, like I say, you just start to see things that you never saw before. And walking through that wet sand and that water and seeing that shimmering light and the beautiful textures and patterns in the sand that were appearing, and how the dark sand and the wet sand against the drier, lighter sand was interacting with each other, and the shapes that created, and it just opened up a whole new world of photographic opportunity. And I think when you can start to see these little intricate details in nature, you just start to feel so much more alive. And days like today, where if I came out right now to do a generic landscape photography shoot, I'd be going home disappointed. But by opening my eyes up to new opportunities and to abstract photography, and by working with the lights, I think I've got at least 3 images in the space of an hour that I'm reasonably happy with, because I've connected with the world around me thanks to the beauty that is earthing. I just want to say, if you are interested in learning a little bit more about earthing, there is a documentary online which I'll link down below. I managed to find a free version, so if you want to watch it, you can watch it via the link below. And it just might be something worth trying next time you're at the beach, or if you're in a nice grassy area. Just take your socks and shoes off and go for a walk in nature barefoot. And if you can combine that with creativity, it massively enhances the experience. So yeah, that's today. Today's been amazing. First proper trip out since having COVID, and it's been a really engaging one, a really eye-opening one where just deeply immersing myself in the beauty of what's around me. And before I sign off, I just want to remind you all that I have now got a new merchandise range. I'm currently wearing one of my hoodies. There's a number of different designs, but yeah, I personally love my logo ones because they were kindly designed for me by somebody, and yeah, they've got my logo on the back, which I think is really cool. I love it. And I've also got a new join section on my YouTube channel. I've taken away the biggest option and I've just left with the smaller and the medium option, and what that means is that if you sign up to one of these sections, you get access to additional videos, you get discounts for some of my services, and yeah, already up there right now there'll be 2 new videos of me sitting down talking about concepts that I think are really interesting and engaging and could help you with your own photography and creativity, but they're sort of much deeper, more personal things that I don't want to actively, openly share online, but that for those of you who are really interested in my work and my creativity and my process, and you know you want to subscribe to become a member, that you'll get access to those things. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's signed up so far. It's very much appreciated, and as always, I of course want to say a huge thank you for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time out your day today to watch this video. I hope it's given you a new concept of an idea of something that you might want to incorporate into your own photography. Just free yourself, especially if you live somewhere where summer is around the corner and the days are getting longer and warmer. Just get out there now and embrace it and connect more deeply with nature, and any way you can find to do that is fantastic, and earthing is certainly one of those ways. So yeah, fantastic. Thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time.